Cerber, a Mundane Chronicle, Part 6. Apologies for the long wait. With the sudden heat waves crashing the western coast, not many entities are active. Summer means longer days, the paranormal's version of hibernation has set in, and I haven't had much business. Of course, this heavily delays my payments for Adeline, but she seems to be very understanding. Not that she nor I have control over the traffic and of requests, of course, but at least Adeline is in no deliberate hurry for me to take those payments. Many of you have asked what Lilith had to pay for her ride. She didn't leave a review, as she doesn't want too many beings knowing about her globe-trotting nor her business affairs. But her overall cost was $4,989.07, and she tipped me a solid $1,000. With nearly a 25% for a tip, I wager to guess she was satisfied with her experience. If the money wasn't so good, I would comp her the next ride to contribute to her cause. Since I've had tremendous luck in the peninsula, I decided to post up near Hunter's Point in San Francisco. For those of you who don't know, Hunter's Point is a fairly dilapidated and abandoned military base. Dangerous for humans usually, means ideal for real estate for the things that go bump in the night. Although, there's really no such thing as ideal in San Francisco. Even entities can't escape taxes when blending among the humans. I sat for about an hour, called Charisse, and caught up with her a bit. She's in Alabama now, setting up a corporate office in Birmingham for Cerber. She asked me if she could tell her story to you guys when she returns, and of course, I'm happy to oblige. I've grown quite close with Charisse, and it's nice to have a friend. You just don't realize how disengaged you are from the real world when you trek it alone, especially when most of your interactions are with the paranormal. Only in the moments my life is threatened do I ever feel human, which is a very strange concept. That's not to gloat. I know I'm very low on the food chain, but I've been so submerged in Cerber that I've grown to lose interest in hobbies and things that make me feel mortal. I finish my coffee and hang up with Charisse. In the last 20 minutes of my conversation, I noticed a request had been put out. I checked to see if it was snatched up by another driver, but it wasn't. I gingerly press accept, cringing at my poor manners. That's right, I have now come to know shame. The request came from Lee Jun, who I've come to know as a lawyer, hoping to run for governor. He is also married to a woman named Ayaka Watanabe, who is also a pretty notorious attorney. Both Lee and Akaya work heavily with bankruptcy cases, helping rich people stay rich and raking in the benefits therein. This should be interesting. Then again, maybe not. Politics are boring, and on the best occasions, the topic annoys me. Here's to hoping it's a fairly calm ride. I pull up to a very modernized tapas joint downtown. Out front was a very impatient Lee and Akaya, arguing. It's not like I deliberately ignored the request. I simply just got tied up talking to my bestie. No homo. Or I mean, you get what I'm saying. I pull up, tap the hazards on, roll down my window and meekly say, "Lee? It only took you 30 years to get here. Bravo." He replies in a stoic manner, showing just enough disdain to be intimidating. Lee Jun opened the car door and ushered Akaya into the car. They both seemed pissed. Not at me. This seems far more preemptive to the request. Goody drama. There is water in the center console if you... I was cut off with the motion of Lee's hand, waving off my statement. Oh fucking K, be thirsty then, turd. Luckily, it was a short drive to Berkeley. The traffic was really bad. The Bay Bridge is always packed, but this wouldn't take more than 30 minutes. I can handle 30 minutes. The ride was relatively silent for the first few minutes, and I couldn't help but chew on politicians and prominent lawyers being entities. I'm not surprised, not by a stretch, but I'm dying to know what they are. Their jobs are fairly normal, and one thing I've noticed about the paranormal is they tend to gravitate towards jobs or haunts that make it easy for them to either gain victims or profit greatly, sometimes both. The profit of being a lawyer in San Francisco is definitely above average, especially for bankruptcy cases. But do they need fleshy noms as well? The only entities I know of that care about money are leprechauns. Are they leprechauns? My thoughts were interrupted by Akaya screaming in the back seat. Of all the companies, you just had to choose Willie's? I've changed the name of the business because people in power scare me far more than the paranormal do. So we'll call this fast food chain Willie's. Ugh. Ayaka. I can hear Lee leaning forward in his seat, presumably rubbing his temples before responding. Can we not talk about sensitive subject matter with witnesses? Oh, that's a bad word. Witness is just another word for a loose end. I actually felt sorry for myself for a moment, being the unlucky person to hear something that they weren't supposed to. Legalities make me nervous, especially after all the courtrooms I've been in for my own defense. He doesn't give a damn. Do you give a damn, Jim? Ayaka asks, looking at me through my rearview mirror. Who's Jim? I'm not Jim. What are you even talking about? I heard nothing. I grip and twist my steering wheel. I wasn't sure how to answer that, because it meant I was taking sides, and that definitely felt dumb. I chose to take the side of the angrier one, Ayaka. Men are kinder when they're mad. This is a fact. I know he'll make it quick if it comes down to it. Jim, this is incredibly private material. Can you promise me that you'll keep your mouth closed about anything we discuss? Damn it, they're gonna go there. Of course, whatever you need, sir, I reply, resisting the urge to groan. At least we're already on the bridge. Ayaka, this is a slam dunk case. They've got more money than God. What more could you ask for? Lee says, trying to quell Ayaka. I don't want my husband representing some slimy fast food chain. What will our families think? They're already livid that I married Yaogai from Beijing. What more do you want me to put them through? You'll just take on any goddamn case now, won't you? You're so fucking money hungry that you don't possess any dignity. That did it for Lee. Things escalated. You think my family was stoked about me marrying a dog? You don't complain when I put shiny rocks on your fingers and neck. You're lucky to have been taken in by me. No man wants to deal with the smell of you after it rains, let alone your nagging. Lee replies coldly. I don't care what or who you are. Calling anyone a dog is usually a bad move. You asshole! I hear a swift crash through my window, causing me to swerve and pull off onto the 880. What the fuck was that? My turn to throttle Lee. Relax, she's having a moment. Lee replies, waving me off in his dismissive manner. Excuse me? Dude, your wife just shot out of my window like a fury cannonball. You're going to have to do better than telling me to relax. You do realize you're paying for that damage, right? Just what I needed. More debt. What? You don't have insurance? I know a good lawyer. Lee replies. We both erupt into laughter at the pure irony of the situation. But really, I'm not paying for that window. So, a yaguai? I tried to break this silence. Yeah. He replies, looking out the window. What's a yaguai? I rally. Well, to put it bluntly, I'm a ghost that has a burning sensation for a particular need. One that is never truly sated. He replies calmly. So you're basically addicted to money? No, not money. Though it doesn't hurt to be wealthy, does it? I wouldn't really know, I reply. Jim, I know for a fact that on your bad days you walk away with 4 figures per ride with Cerber. That's dangerously close to well off, Lee says with a cocked expression. I guess. I decide not to drag that one out. No sense in arguing with the lawyer. So what exactly are you addicted to? That felt like the right question. Addicted, huh. I never thought of it like that. I suppose you're right. Lee replies softly. Are you going to be pissed if I ask you a third time? I'm growing impatient. Right, sorry. He smiles. Winning. I'm irrevocably addicted to winning. There really is nothing more thrilling than taking on cases that just shouldn't exist to begin with and winning the judge over, simply by speaking. He replies. That's kind of sick, Lee. You would make an excellent politician. I say, rolling my eyes. You're not wrong, Lee says, still looking out my gaping window. I don't actually want to be a politician. That's Ayaka's idea. Why not? I ask. Because you win an election, then what? Sure, it's a big deal, it's a larger win for scale, but what comes after? He asks. I think he really meant that question, so I bite. Well, objectively speaking, you would try to better your community according to your own morals, I guess. Okay, yeah, politics are gross. Precisely. Would you want someone running for governor under the pretense of screwing over hundreds, even thousands of people, just for a few top dogs? I wouldn't win that, not by a long shot. It startles me that you're more concerned with losing than you are with how morally bankrupt you come off. I'm getting angry. I've worked with unions most of my life, and I'm no stranger to corporate greed. Oh, please, Lee scoffs. So I'm upfront with you on what it is I do, and you're going to pretend you didn't accept this job purely out of financial gain? How exactly does that make you better than me? Well, I'm not defending greedy CEOs with more money than compassion, for starters. I reply, hoping to piss him off. I'm feeling more brazen, knowing Lee isn't all that dangerous to me. Well, unless we happen to be in a courtroom. No, but at least I have a solid excuse for why I do what I do. My actions are dictated by what is innate to me, not because a DUI has left me in a state of debt with little options to rapidly pay it off. My blood went cold and my body rigid. How the hell did he know about my DUI? I never said a word about it. How did... Lee cut me off, circling like a hyena, ready to giggle chomp my corpse. That doesn't matter. What matters is you cast plenty of judgment on others, yet you don't seem to recognize the parallels between our initiatives. The only difference between us? Money isn't a driving force for me, but it certainly is for you. Yeah, that was checkmate. He's damn good. I scoff, getting out of the car and slamming the door, stomping along the side of the highway. Lee peeks his head out of my gaping window. Where are you going? I'm off to look for your wife. You're a real jackass, and I say that from personal experience. I may be a greedy bottom feeder, but your wife doesn't deserve to be called a dog. Okay, I realize I was being dramatic, but after that slow roast in my car, I was feeling a little wounded. Sue me. Pun intended. Oh, Jim, Lee says, climbing out of the back seat. She's a kitsune. Whatever, man, I don't care where she's from, she's not a dog, she's actually quite pretty. I retort, poorly. For some reason, I had it in my head that he was referring to her nationality. Common dumb Jim mistake. No, you mongoloid, a kitsune is a shapeshifter. She can... I snapped. I really, truly felt a deep-seated rage claw its way through my diaphragm, up into my cerebellum, and flipped the switch. I've already had it with Lee's insults to both his wife and myself. I snatch up Lee by the collar and let him have it. Look, dude, I couldn't give two shits if I pulled them out of my own ass. The way you talk about your wife is absolute garbage. For someone who is so obsessed with winning, you seem like a real fucking loser to me. Watch your sociopathic mouth before I smash it into the center divide. I release and push him away from me, and continue walking. Alright, as I was saying, I can hear Lee dusting himself off from behind me. My wife is a kitsune. She is an immortal woman with the ability to shift from her human form into a fox. Again, I don't give a damn. Calling any female a dog is a piss-poor move. Even if your insult was a half-baked truth, it was a rotten thing to say. I continue walking, not looking back. Okay, fine. Lee wasn't walking. Instead, he was standing perfectly still and clearing his throat. I won't apologize to you for that. Lee and myself walked in close stride, scanning the side of the highway for Ayaka. We walk for about an hour before Lee finally gives up. Remember what you said in the car, Lee begins, about keeping your mouth closed. Yep, I reply, knowing full well I was going to plaster this all over the internet. He can sue me for it later, if he so chooses. Alright. Lee lets out a sigh, rolling his eyes. Ayaka, my darling, please forgive me. I was terribly wrong to treat you so poorly. Please come back to me, my love. Holy hurl. Kraft couldn't have made it any cheesier if they tried. I run my hand over my face, feeling the crippling embarrassment I had falsely promised to keep secret. Now, I don't know what you all know about kitsunes, but I was expecting a tiny red dog-type creature to come forth. True to paranormal fashion, that wasn't the case. About 30 feet away, under a dark freeway off-ramp, stood an enormous red and white fox, adorning 9 tails. When I say enormous, I mean she was a solid 8 feet standing. Ayaka's eyes glowed, a glinting peridot, just opposing her fiery presence. You could hear a sharp whine coming from this massive, beautiful creature, as if to let us know she was emotionally wounded. No, I did not boop a snoot. I already know that's coming. I know, my love, Lee continues. I'll decline the suit, but on one condition. Ayaka remains silent, haunting the underside of the off-ramp. For a creature with so many appendages, she's able to keep quite still. I won't run for office. I can't. Even if I win, which is a very shaky maybe, I'll have no way to feed. You don't want to go back to turning tables in Reno, do you? Ayaka lets out a canine groan, agreeing, but also disapproving. I know. However, we need to do what's best for both of us, our union, and not what others will approve of. Only we have eternity together. Only we need sate each other. Blah. I let out, intentionally. Alright, can we please do the rest of this weird notebook garbage in the car? I don't mean to be a dick, but I really need to put out a signal soon, and I'm not getting paid to watch you guys make up. Please, Ayaka, return to the vehicle so I can take you both to your destination. I know what you're thinking. Jesus, this is where Jim dies. Sorry to disappoint, I'm still much alive. Much to my surprise, this did coax Ayaka from the off-ramp. Stark fucking naked. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I dove into my coat, blushing and embarrassed for taking in the full view before really registering what was happening. They both laughed gingerly at my response. Jim, might I borrow your coat? Ayaka asks, warm and unfazed. I take my coat off, one hand covering my eyes at all times, waving it in the direction that her voice traveled from. Yeah, fine, here. Thank you. It's safe to look now, she replies, drowning in my coat. Lee wraps his arms around Ayaka and rubbed her shoulder as if to warm her from a snowstorm. Ayaka slaps Lee's hands and barks. You don't have to run for office, but you take on another fast food chain. I'll crush your trachea with my bare immortal hands. Ayaka stomps off to my car. Lee looks at me, holding his hands up incredulously, as if to say, do you see what I have to deal with? I really have no sympathy for him. She really should have bit his jewels clean off. Luckily, Ayaka is well prepared for transitioning. She carries a pair of leggings, t-shirt, and those compact slipper thingies in her purse, just in case the occasion arises. Clever fox. She changed in my back seat, Lee holding the jacket up to shield me from seeing his wife naked. It was at my behest that she stayed covered. Called me old-fashioned or childish, but her nude body is not for me to gawk at. I have to stay professional. Well, sort of. I pull up to a home very close to the university in Berkeley. An old Victorian-style home, painted pale blue with hundreds of flowers climbing trestles, snaking around cement pillars upon their porch. I would like to think that if I had disposable income, I would own a home as beautiful as this.
Lee, I'll see you inside,
Ayaka says. Lee doesn't verbally reply, simply kisses her cheek, pats her hand, and exits the car. I'm not scared. She's a lovely, fairly normal woman who had a normal reaction to a stupid remark. Not sure if I'm desensitized or if my lack of fear is valid. Probably the former.
I heard what you said to Lee, James,
Ayaka begins, looking me in the eye through my rearview mirror.
I appreciate your chivalry. More importantly, I apologize for my actions that led to your broken window
and lengthened evening. She gestured to the left. Nah, don't worry about it. He's an asshole. Unfortunately, I can relate. You both taught me some pretty valuable, albeit hard lessons this evening. It really was my pleasure. We both smile and shake hands.
Oh, and James,
she says, gripping my hand and staring me straight in the eyes.
If my husband tips you anything less than $7,000, I expect you to contact me immediately. That chintzy bastard has a nasty habit of being cheap in conversation and in financial obligation.
Yeah, okay, I reply, praying this isn't going to turn into a therapy session. I'm so bad at words, especially ones needed for comfort.
Good, she smiles genuinely. Thank you for the lift. Enjoy your evening.
My pleasure. Thank you for choosing Cerber and have a wonderful night. Ayaka waves me off as she runs up the stairs to her front door. A notification pops up on the app, revealing the end of ride details. The price paid was $1,356.89 and a tip of $10,000. The review read, "Not one word, Jim," with a 5 Batwing rating. I know part of this is just hush money, but I couldn't resist uploading this drama. Mostly because I haven't had much work with Cerber lately, if I'm being honest. Can't spare any details if the pickings are slim. No time to waste, I pull into a 24-hour drugstore, pick up some rusty duct tape and black trash bags to cover my window. They only had boxes holding 40+ trash bags, but let's face it, this probably won't be the last time I'll be taping up a window. With haste, I patch the hole, dust the glass shards into another bag, and set out another signal of availability. About 10 minutes later, I get a request from Tutu. Cool, I can still salvage a night and turn a mint if I'm careful. I respond to the request and head to the Children's Hospital in Oakland. Just after I respond, I felt a tickle on my ear, as if a fly had perched itself specifically to make me hit my own head, which I did. I got to the hospital in a matter of minutes to see a short, cute nurse covered in blood. Considering, it's not that unusual. She climbs into the back seat, opposite to the one with the broken window. Tutu slumps in her seat and lets out a long sigh. Tutu, I ask her.
Yeah,
she replies, eyes closed. If you need water, there's some behind you in a cooler. I put my car in drive. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. She nods and rests comfortably. We have a long ride to Stockton ahead of us. A sleeping entity makes for a pleasant, pain-free evening, and I'm pleased with this. After we hit 580 East, close to Pleasanton, I heard a loud grumble. She's hungry. She moans in my back seat, slightly writhing and cringing. I'm sorry, I don't have anything to offer you. Would you like me to hit a drive-thru? My treat. I ask, nervously. Hungry is never good, even in human circumstances, let alone with an entity.
That's sweet, but,
she says, cocking a smile with sharp, gnarled teeth.
A cheeseburger isn't going to cut it.
Oh. I reply simply. I look back in my mirror again to see her staring at me with solid black eyes. She looked like a humanoid shark.
I would kill for some baby back ribs. But I don't just want the ribs.
She stops laughing and continues staring at me, mouth agape. It hit me. Children's Hospital. Nurse. Tutu. Holy shit. Lamashtu? I stated, my heart lodging itself into my throat. Lamashtu smiles, tilts her head, and wiggles her finger in a twisted, childlike, hello. Fuck, is all I could get out before she lunges at me. Lamashtu grabs my hair, yanking my head back, biting my right cheek. I swerve the car with one hand in an absolute panic, trying to kick towards the emergency brake pedal. The tiny, needle-tipped teeth sunk into my cheekbone, causing blood to shoot into my eye. Like a fool, I let go of the wheel, slam on my brakes, sending Lamashtu flying into the front of the car. The impact wasn't enough to cause her to flinch, let alone knock her out. All I did was give her a better angle to rip me apart. She charges me again, biting at my chest. Her mouth ripping through my jacket and shirt like a garbage disposal, devouring cooked pasta. I let go off the brake in our struggle, causing the car to move again. The pain is excruciating, causing me to scream as I push her by her throat against the dash of my car. She claws at my arms, chomping her predatory mouth to intimidate me. But it's clear she doesn't have much strength due to being hungry. I keep a steady hold on her neck, and just as I can start to feel my arms give way, I hear something from the back seat. Lamashtu, I see you. A young man sings from the back of my car. Lamashtu immediately halts her feverish struggle. Her face drops into pure fury as she stares at the man in the back of my seat. After about 10 seconds, she lets out a primal scream, causing every single one of my windows to shatter. Lamashtu frantically claws her way out of my car, out of my now gaping window. You have got to be fucking kidding me, I scream, slamming my fist down on my dashboard. I whip my face around to see a hysterical 20-something gripping his sides and cackling from the back. And who the hell might you be? Easy, Kimosabi. The name's Pazuzu, he says, straightening out his leather jacket. Pazuzu was tall, dark, and handsome. The kind you might see on those smut novels in your grandma's bedroom with a woman draped half naked across her lap. Pizza Shih Tzu? I responded condescendingly. He bellows another roaring laughter. Pizza Shih Tzu? Dude, you're a riot. Holy shit, I'm not even slightly in the mood for bullshit. Who are you? What are you doing here? And how are you planning to pay for this? Pazuzu looked at me, seemingly offended. I'm sorry. I think what you're trying to conjure is, thank you, jackass. I just saved your life. No, I had it covered, I said, wounded. All you did was cost me another couple more racks of damage to my car. Pazuzu rolled his eyes. Okay, best case scenario, you were just prolonging your own suffering. Lamashtu would have made it quick had you not put up a struggle. She's a centuries-old deity. You really think you could have quelled that nonsense on your own? He spoke with eloquence and dropped the weird, douchey frat boy facade. I sat in my back seat, utterly defeated in more ways than one, replying, You're right, thank you. Pazuzu perked up and says, You're welcome, Jim. So if you're a demon, what the hell is Lamashtu? I remember hearing Pazuzu before, but definitely not in a flattering regard. Common misconception, thanks to Hollywood. I'm actually not a demon, neither is Lamashtu. We're just really ancient spirits. Neither of us have the same notion of allegiance as common religions might have. Oh, and she's not my ex-wife. She's my sister. Really disgusting hiccup in the transcripts, am I right? He says, shuddering. Wait, I know where I've heard your name from. The one movie with the child and the puke. I say, pointing. You're totally a demon. Wrong, bro. Again, another huge oversight. My favorite pastime, my true purpose, my raison d'être, is to thwart Lamashtu from eating kids. She must have confused you for a big-ass baby. He laughs at his own joke. I'm not amused. So why possess a little girl then? I ask, pressing. Oh, right, that. Huge misunderstanding. I did possess her, this is true. but only because I wanted to scare the ever-loving hell out of Lamashtu. She was going to prey upon that little girl, so I thought I'd prank her, which it obviously worked, he said, bowing at his own performance. So what was with the stabbing and the head spinning then? Still convinced he's a demon. Well, funny thing, actually, he says, slightly embarrassed. I kinda got stuck, so to speak. My only way out was to act like a psycho, so that a priest could exorcise the little girl and release me. The whole head stuck in a jar bit. Wow! I let out a booming chortle. That's actually hilarious. Pazuzu bows his head again, appreciating the irony I found in his story. Why is Lamashtu so scared of you? I ask. Because I'm ugly, he answers. What? If you're ugly, then she should have bolted the second she got into my car. I'm not self-deprecating, but I'm not a 20-something Abercrombie model. Well, I could show you. He gives a devious grin. Okay, but only if you promise that you're not going to go Mr. Hyde on me and suddenly want to kill me. I reply, raising an eyebrow. You got it, he replies with wicked delight. Pazuzu unzips his pants in a flash, too quick for me to react right away, and out darts a 4-foot serpent, hissing at me. Dude, what the fuck? I thump back into my steering wheel, re-inviting my previous injuries to shoot daggers of pain through my neurological receptors. What the fuck is that? Pazuzu grips his sides and howls in the fetal position. That was my dick, Jim. You see me as a mortal, but what I truly am is so much more horrifying. He says through giggles. So show me your face then, you psycho. I reply, clawing at my eyes, wishing I could dump bleach into my sockets. And miss the opportunity to both scare and scar you? Absolutely not. Wanna pet her? I call her Petunia, he says, dragging out the jest. You're a weirdo, was all I could throw at him. Desperately wanting to change topics, I ask, well, can I take you someplace? I ask, hoping he would say yes. Oh, no thanks, man. Cerber rates are ridiculous. He brushes glass off my door and moves out. I'm an ancient deity. Why take a car when I can materialize anywhere I want? Fair point. Alright, thank you, Pizza Shitsu. I waved off, half-heartedly. Good night, Jim. Pazuzu disappears after closing my door. Fuck that guy. I know you're all going to ask what Lamashtu paid. Unfortunately, she got away with paying nothing. The app only registers when I drop someone off, and if a ride is cancelled, and because the crazy lamprey was coherent enough to cancel the ride, she didn't have to pay. I know, my blood is boiling too. I had to call Adeline. I remembered her, "You men are gross," comment, and I was since chewing on that a bit before she picked up. I tried pretending I was a woman. Hi, I said in a high-pitched valley accent. I really need to send my car in for repairs. Can you help me with that? Jim? Adeline says, annoyed. No, this is, Jenny. I'm new to Cerber. Maybe you haven't heard yet. I reply, biting my lip and wincing. Jim, I have caller ID, Adeline says, flatly. Alright, fine. I begin. It was Lamashtu. Adeline grew silent on the phone for a few seconds. Adeline? I beckon. Are you hurt? She asked through gritted teeth. I think she's mad at me. Well, yeah, but I didn't do anything this time. She was hungry and I tried to take her to a drive-thru, but she went shark mode and started taking chunks out of me. I swear it wasn't my fault this time. I plead. I know I have a reputation, but I was on my best behavior this time. It's fine, Jim. I believe you. She says, immediately calming my nerves. What will this run me now? I ask, fearing the worst. You have a $500 out-of-pocket deductible, but the rest is covered by Cerber insurance. I'll compensate you the $500 once I get it back from Lamashtu, she says in a soothing, maternal voice. firm, yet reassuring. Thanks, Adeline. I really appreciate it. Would it be too much to ask to use a company car?
Not at all, just remember, you break it, you buy it,
she says, chiding me. I mean, technically, I didn't do anything. I started.
I'll have one of our employees drop off the rental to you in about 12 hours. They'll be human, she says.
You mean there'll be a lamb? I reply, prodding. Charisse told me about the badges and code of conduct. When can I get a badge? I ask.
You'll want to advertise yourself as a turkey leg. Be my guest. Your badge will be delivered with a car. You'll have limited access for now. It's a company standard. Anything else, Jim?
Adeline seemed to be in a hurry to get me off the phone. No, that'll be all, Adeline. Thank you again. I appreciate you. I meant that. She may be a pain in the ass, but her heart is good. She means well enough. I can hear herself soften on the other end of the line.
My pleasure, Jim. I'm sorry about Lamashtu. We will take care of it.
Pazuzu kinda beat you to it, I replied, trying to lighten the mood.
Unfortunately, this kind of attack goes higher than Pazuzu. Lamashtu has already been banned from using Cerber after her stunt with Charisse, she says in an ominous tone. But I don't want you to worry about that. We'll talk more before your next ride. Thank you for your patience, Jim. I'm sending out a company doctor to check for venom and any other bacteria that may have transferred to you. Get some rest in the meantime. Good night.
Adeline doesn't wait for my reply before she hangs up. I decide to make the drive home, shower, and wait around for the doctor to arrive. It's been a weird night, and I'm dying to dump all this emotional baggage off onto Charisse. I wonder how she'll react when she finds out I faced Lamashtu and, walked away from her, relatively unscathed. This is Kinetic Symphony. If you've enjoyed this narrated story, please subscribe and like the video to help me grow. Thank you.